It's a beautiful day to you, our lovely and smart real estate investors, whether you're abroad or you're also in Nigeria. I'm super delighted to welcome you to another exciting and, of course, educative section of Property Matters here on YouTube. In case you're coming across a video like this for the first time, my name is Adejare and I'm your host here on Property Matters. In case you're coming across a video like this for the first time, Property Matter is a weekly YouTube real estate talk show where we expose our real estate investors to the dynamics, reality, and of course, our recent discovery of how the Lagos State real estate market operates. Over time, we've done an educative and, of course, insightful episode on the real estate market. We've talked about the Ekpe market. We've talked about the Ibeju Lekki market. We've talked about the Lekki market. We've even gone as far, to identify how you can, know a fraudulent real estate practitioner. We've talked about how you can identify and, of course, ascertain the genuinity of a property before you pay for such property. Property Matter is an insightful real estate YouTube talk show where we expose you to the dynamics of real estate investment, and of course we explain the safety measures that should be put into serious consideration whenever you're buying property from a Lagos State real estate developer. So after seeing a video like this for the first time, please do well to subscribe to this channel, turn on the notification bell so that when I drop a video, a very important personality like you will obviously be one of the persons to see it. Do well to encourage your friends, your family, and loved ones to do so. Help us reach more people so that people will not be making terrible real estate investment decisions. I'll be back immediately after this short commercial. Don't go nowhere. Just get yourself a chilled glass of wine, and of course, stay tuned. I'll be back. Beautiful smart real estate investors, I'm very happy to welcome you to Adesanya. That's the famous garden scheme 2. Right here is where we have 2, 3, and of course 4-bedroom duplexes, terrace duplexes, and fully detached duplexes available for sale. Now the juicy part is about the 5 million initial deposit and the spread payment of 24 months. Structures like this could be yours. This obviously is one of the best real estate investments. Now on the 31st of July, there's going to be a price increase on this property, so you don't want to miss out. As you can see, look at that gate. We have security, we have, of course, that's our pool, we have gym, of course, you see this is our transformer. This is a pay-in and parking estate here in Adesanya, Fairmont Garden Scheme 2. This obviously is the best real estate investment. So 5 million initial deposit, spread payment of 24 months. This beautiful structure will be yours. So you can finally sack your landlord and, of course, have a place you can call your. You see, in Lagos, there's nothing like having a place where you can call your own. See, if you know what they charge for rent, a structure like this, if you want to rent it out in this axis, cannot be less than 5 million naira because it's a duplex. Imagine how much they will charge for fully detached. So this is why, as you can see, there are residents here already. People have started moving in, and this is why this beautiful property is a must buy. It's not an option, it's a must buy. So for more information on how you can be part of it, now, give me a call. Have a nice day. All right, I'm super delighted to be on your screen again. I want to quickly appreciate everybody that have supported us with Property Matters, all our lovely subscribers, the people that have been, of course, commenting. Of course, we appreciate your comment, we appreciate your decision, to patronize us. Of course, apart from the fact that we host a YouTube talk show, we're also a real estate consulting company. We help smart real estate investors like you to secure safe, genuine, and profitable real estate investment across different parts of Lagos. Do well to do what? Give us a call and patronize us. And of course, you see the excellence in our service delivery. So on today's episode of Property Matters, I'm going to be talking about brand due diligence. And I'm going to be talking about how to access a very serious and, of course, goal-oriented real estate developer in Lagos, Nigeria. Once again, today's topic is going to be on brand due diligence, how to assess and, of course, unravel a serious-minded and a goal-oriented real estate developer in the beautiful city of Lagos. Now, why you need to subscribe to this channel is based on the fact that we have exciting and, of course, insightful topic here on Property Matters. And when you have subscribed to this channel, You will only get our location and of course our notification with a twinkle of an eye when you subscribe. And of course, do well to subscribe, invite your friends and family to do so, help us reach more people. So today I'm going to be talking about brand due diligence. What exactly do I mean by brand due diligence? I've talked about different aspects of real estate investment. I've talked about how you can identify land document. I've talked about how you can identify a fraudulent real estate, developer. We've talked about safety measures, but we also need to extend our analysis and our explanations to other important aspects of real estate investment that is mostly ignored. We are in a real estate sector where it is very hard to distinguish a serious minded real estate developer from a real estate developer that is just in the market to make profits. So talking about brand due diligence, what exactly is brand due diligence all about? Brand due diligence basically is you doing your own personal research to know, and of course to ascertain the integrity level, the ability to deliver, the ability to safeguard the property. And of course, when you look at this, you understand that it is not all real estate developer that you should patronize. And this is due to the fact that most of our real estate investors are abroad. Many people, even some that are in Nigeria, are very, very busy and to go. So sometimes doing an extensive brand due diligence is very, very difficult. And that is why we have come online to to simplify the process, so that at your beck and call you can of course use some of the tips that we'll be sharing today to identify a serious-minded real estate developer from a fraudulent one. Now, when you're talking about brand due diligence, there are several criteria that you need to talk about. And for some of us that have been following this channel, you will be familiar with some of the terminologies and some of the tips and guides that we've shared over time. So today I'm going to be talking about how to identify a serious-minded real estate developer. Oftentimes, many people are always cajoled, many people are concerned, and many people are always tricked into making a wrong real estate investment because of the fact that sometimes there've been a lot of jingles, there've been a lot of overhyping, and there've been a whole lot of noise that often affect real estate investor to focus on what we consider the core of a good real estate developer. What do I mean by that? Sometimes when there is overhyping on the property, many people make decisions based on the fact that I know this particular realtor, and of course he or she will definitely not lead me astray. But oftentimes we've discovered that in this our industry, many real estate developers, because of one or two unforeseen circumstances, have they've begun to drop standards, and of course some of them are compromising on their integrity. Number one is that one of the way you can identify a serious-minded and a quality brand is in the quality of the infrastructure. I'm going to be talking about the quality of their infrastructure. Now, why am I emphasizing on the quality? There've been a lot of building projects that have been done across, not just in our Ibeju Lekki here, but also on the island. I've seen instances whereby some units of apartments, duplexes, and other housing typologies have been delivered, and some of the reports we've been getting is not always encouraging. And because of the fact that we need to protect ourselves, we won't be displaying some of this. There are some houses that have been delivered, and today there are cracks on the wall. Some of the POP ceilings are poorly done, and of course there are some places whereby they are continually experiencing the places of flooding. There've been instances whereby, because of the continual rise in building materials, several real estate developers have been forced to abandon the project without giving a definite date on which the project will continue. So you want to confirm the quality of the infrastructure, and I've talked about how you can identify the quality of the infrastructure. Now, the quality of the infrastructure is based on what the developer's ideology of what he or she calls quality. So you want to talk about some instances. I've seen instances whereby duplexes are sold for 40 million, so duplexes are sold for 50 million, and I've been to other estates that duplexes are sold for 65 million. And what most real estate developers, most real estate investors don't understand is that when a house is more expensive than the other. It's not just because of the fact that the developer is being too greedy or he wants to make money off you. For instance, when you look at the quality of foundation some real estate companies do before building their structures, when you look at the quality of materials, when you look at the solidity of their piling, when you look at the solidity of their bricks work, their decking, their roofing, when you look at the quality of the interiors and some other things, you will understand that one of the reasons why price varies is not just based on the fact that a developer wants to make money off you. No, it's based on the quality of what such real estate developer has done. And sometimes many people need to understand that. Now, in the place of quality too, I've seen instances whereby some fencing of some estates have been experiencing cracks, some gates they are rotting. There've been a lot of poor hygiene in some estates. There've been some cases of flooding. Surprisingly, there've been several reported cases of flooding. How is the developer managing? Of course, for some of us that are buying service apartment, how is the developer managing the refuse disposal? How is the electricity like? What is the electricity tariff? These are some of the things that most real estate investors ignore when they are buying properties. So the quality of the infrastructures, the quality of the building materials, the quality of the apartment, the quality of the interiors. These are some of the ways you can access a brand that is serious minded and a brand that is goal oriented. Sometimes when they are running adverts and jingles, many of them will tell you quality, quality, but when you go there, okay, the reverse most times has always been the case. So the quality determines how if a brand has integrity and if a brand is worth partnering or buying property from. Now, the next thing you want to put into consideration basically is the document on the properties that you are buying. Now, most times I've had a whole lot of real estate investors ask questions. I appreciate the fact that many people are asking questions, but there have been several instances whereby many of them have asked questions that is way beyond my control. Questions that I certainly don't have an answer to. Some will say, this estate say they have this. Are you sure? I'm not with them, so I obviously cannot ascertain if they are telling the truth or they are saying the opposite. So sometimes you ask me, you've bought into a property, you're asking me, do they have this? Do they have this? I am not obviously in the best position to to give that answer. But one of the things you want to understand is that the document on the properties determines how safe the property are. I've received several inquiries where some people will come online and they will tell you that once a property has a registered survey and a deed, it is free and it is safe for investment. I've seen instances whereby some people will tell you as long as there's a registered deed, it is free. Now, when it comes to real estate investment, I need our real estate investors to understand that people sell properties based on their knowledge. People will advise you based on their exposure. People will give recommendations based on what they know. Now, my own advice is based on my expertise, my experience. It's been 6 years in this industry. So you cannot compare my own level of expertise and my own level of exposure. I've had exposure on site. I've had exposure even in land bureau. So I understand how these policies work. Okay. I've had instances whereby a realtor has told a client that is a just buy and leave it. And I've had instances whereby a realtor also advised a client to buy a property that a developer fails to provide a survey. If you say you have a property and you cannot provide a simple survey, then there is every need for someone to do what? To doubt your integrity and, of course, your capability to do that. So what are the importance of a land title? Of course, I've done several series on that, so I will not be discussing elaborately on this, but what I will want to emphasize, okay, is that the title of the of the property you're buying matters. Now, I've seen instances whereby real estate developers in Ekpe are selling untitled land for 8 million. Some are selling way higher, some are selling 10. Well, and a lot of people ask me, does it worth it? Are we being overpriced? Are we being, well, I obviously of, like I explained earlier, cannot give an answer to that. But your own assessment on my own experience and expertise in this industry basically is that if a land does not have a title, this is my own take. It is subject to your approval. It is subject to your own understanding. It is also subject to your own, of course, assessment. Like I said, a land that does not have a title in Ekpe should not sell anything below 4 million. A land that does not have a title in Ekpe should not sell below 4 million. I don't care where the location is. The people tell you, yeah, it's in a developed area, it's facing the road, it's this, it's 5 minutes away from the express, it's 3 minutes away from the place you develop. Now, the truth of the matter is, I've said this several times, there's nobody in the Lagos State Real Estate Board regulating the prices. So sometimes people are always at the mercy of fixing price based on their own assessment of what the price should sell for or what the property should sell for. But my own assessment basically is that if you don't have a title on the property and it's in Ekpe, you don't have any right to sell above 5. If you're selling on title property for 8-10 million, it's being overpriced. That's my own assessment, because of the fact that if you buy an untitled property, now they can only sell for 8, 10, 20 million if they have the intention of perfecting the title and getting a global survey on the property. So in scenarios and instances whereby they have the intention of fixing the title and getting the global survey, even if they sell for 15, 20 million, they are justified because the cost of perfecting. But in instances whereby they are just selling the land, maybe the land has just survey, okay, and deed from family deed. Sometimes I've seen several instances whereby you want to do some things and Lagos State government, or you want to perfect some title. Most times the deed that you collect from family and the survey developer is given to you may not even be sufficient in getting your paperwork done, because sometimes I've seen instances whereby the deed of assignment are not even registered. Some of instances, the survey that they're even claiming to use to sell the land are not registered. So in some cases, you have to start again, processing register survey, getting the deed done, doing a lot of things. In most cases, the lands may not even be freelance. Then you have to go through the process of ratification. So in as much as fact that a real estate developer will not save you this stress, because the truth of the matter is, if you like, buy 20 freehold. When the time is right, government is waiting for you. And government is waiting for me. So that means that after you, as long as your land does not have title, you will go and meet government. So if you have paid the company, you are still going to pay government. So that's a summary of my own. So if the land does not have a title, okay, if they don't have a document, if a developer does not have a document and it keeps selling, okay, untitled properties, that developer is not someone that is working on the basis of integrity. Because the thing is that to do a title now for a properties right now, as I'm talking to you right now, is way above 2 million. So for those who have bought multiple property, calculate it, you know what you're spending to get a title fix. So the one of the you can access a serious minded developer is when they are selling titled properties, and for the untitled properties they have the intention to perfect. The next thing you also want to do to assess and evaluate a real estate developer is how frequent do they conduct physical allocation. How frequently do they allocate? Most of these things have stirred a lot of controversies, and a whole lot of people have not understood that whenever it comes to real estate investment, you need to put all these consideration, all these outline things into consideration when you are choosing your own preferred real estate. How frequent do they allocate? How many times have they allocated people? What exactly are the response of their clients? Sometimes, whenever I want to deal with a real estate developer, after I've done my own personal due diligence, I've done the papers, we've done the environment. In fact, it's stressful. Then most times we go and do what we call environmental due diligence. That means we ask from people the quality of what they've done. Sometimes we've asked if there are people, if people have come to that particular site to make trouble. Sometimes we go as far as talking to some of the people they've sold to. So these are some of the things. So how frequent do they allocate? If a developer does not allocate frequently, is a sign that that developer is not a serious-minded developer. It's not a goal-oriented. This person will delay. In fact, even after paying a whole lot of money, and if they don't allocate frequently, you should know without being told. You don't even need a soothsayer to tell you that you are dealing with a what? An unserious real estate developer. Then the next thing you also want to observe when you are evaluating or assessing a real estate developer is that, are they following the Lagos State regulations? Now, in real estate, Many people don't understand that there are regulations. It is quite unfortunate that most of these real estate developers are not even aware of some regulation. Now, there's a fencing limit that must be observed. There are several building codes that must be adhered to. Whenever you're buying a property, there are some certain setbacks that must be adequately, strictly adhered to. Now, in most cases, when you don't follow all these building codes, when you don't follow these lay down rules and regulations, this is when government strikes. And most times, what they do basically is that when they destroy some of your properties, you will still have to come to Alausa and do some assessment before you can continue with that project. So a lot of people are selling properties, they are selling off-plan projects, they don't have a building approval. A lot of people are building, a lot of people are encroaching on people's land, or they're encroaching on government's land. Some people are encroaching on what do I say now? They're encroaching on places that are segmented for road expansion. Most real estate investors don't even understand some of these things. They'll say, is a pair, government is not coming. Who told you government is not coming? As long as it is still the 4 shores or within the 4 shores of Lagos, they once you violate all these set down regulations that Lagos State have clearly and marked, expect trouble. So you want to confirm, okay, that in places whereby they say the building plan approved 3 floors, they are not building 7 floors. You want to also ensure that when government is asking them to build bungalows, they are not building duplexes. You want to ensure that when government is saying do a pile foundation, they are not doing a raft foundation. You want to understand that government is saying this structure must be some acres away from the river or from the lagoon. You want to ensure that they are adhering to this. You also want to ensure that in places whereby they are supposed to use a building structure, government will say, okay, fine, observe this for parking space. They are not, because you see, the truth of the matter is, when real estate developers deliberately violate all these terms and conditions, there will be trouble. See, you don't need a soothsayer to tell you that there will be troubles. You see, most people don't understand that. Now, look at the case of the Ikoyi building collapse. We found out that the number of floors that Lagos State government gave was not the number of floors that the developer adhered to. So, in fact, in this our highland, it is happening. But the thing is that we just can't be saying this is person following the code. No, but it is in the place of due diligence and brand due diligence. You get to know who is adhering to regulations and who is obstructing government policies. So this is where I'm going to draw the curtain of today's episode of Proper. There is more. I will still continue from there, and of course we will continue obviously in our subsequent video. Then another thing you want to put into consideration finally is the customer service of the real estate company. How you can assess if a real estate developer is worth buying properties from, is what is a cost. There are some places that you have to call and call and call and call. You won't get response. I've seen instances whereby you will send mail for 2 weeks, they will not respond. There are some instances whereby a real estate developer will persuade you the moment you have paid money into their companies, then it becomes an equivalent tax for you to get across to their real estate. And sometimes you wonder, is it not the same person that have been begging me to buy? Now I've bought, I'm having these issues, I've sent messages. Yeah, so you want to assess their customer service. You want to assess how frequent they respond to messages. You want to assess if that developer is accessible. Like, for instance, I don't deal with real estate developer I cannot access, because I can always have issues and reasons to call you. Sometimes if I call you twice, you have not picked the call. Respect me in your office. So these are some of the codes and some other things. So this is where I'm going to draw today's episode of Property Matters on how to assess a serious-minded real estate developer. Do well to subscribe to this channel. Turn on the notification bell so that when I drop important videos like this, you will not miss out on this. Now, I'm not saying that you should not deal with real estate developer. I need to make some simple clarification so that I will not be misunderstood. There have been cases of misunderstood. A lot of people have misquoted my opinions, my suggestions, and sometimes I spend time explaining to clients, no, this was not what I meant. A lot of people watch videos and sometimes people give their own different way of assessing, and of course there are different and of course diverse ways of evaluating discussion. I'm not saying all, but I'm just trying to explain to you real estate investors that, see, it is easier said than done. Whenever it comes to solving problems from the company you have bought, I've seen instances whereby several real estate developer use advert jingles. They use all these renowned real estate realtors, to advertise the project. Then 2 3 months after, several projects have been abandoned. So I go through all these things. I know. So sometimes when I'm making all this, critical analysis, is based on the reality of what is going on. Majority of you are not in it. So when somebody is explaining the way these things are, pay rapt attention, and of course, like I said, work with a professional. See, when you are buying real estate, when they want you to buy, they can promise you everyone. At the moment you have paid like this, assessing a lot of them is trouble. In fact, today, making this video by this time was due to the fact I just got back from another fight. They know me, and of course we know ourselves. So these are some of the things you need to put into consideration. This is not to say all real estate developers are like that. No, some are very serious minded, but it takes the service of a professional, okay, to help you know that, okay, you can work with this person, you can work with this person. However, don't use advert jingles or hyping of known realtors to buy properties. A lot of people have done it. They are regretting it. In cases whereby most of these people have large client base, sometimes before they will attend to your request, Jesus, it will take weeks and sometimes months. So this is where we said, work with us. We can help you assess all these things. We can help you get the right information, get the right investment, do a thorough due diligence, give you a project report, a weekly analysis, and this is why we stand up from the rest. Until I come your way in another exciting and of course insightful episode of Property Matters. Stay wealthy, stay away from trouble, take good care of yourself. See you in my next video. Bye.